clients on is,
Sorry.
we're recording now? Okay.
Yep.
Is tax time's coming up. So a lot of clients are, a few of my clients, 4 or 5 of them, are sending me their tax returns before their CPA sends them in, because we're so tight on the last 2 years of income that we're assessing them to make sure that they're claiming enough, especially self-employed people. So with whoever your lender is, or if it's me, make sure that you advise your clients to talk to me before they file their taxes, again, especially if they're self-employed, because we don't want them to file it and write off a bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden we're out of the realm of what they qualify for. So I literally have 3 or 4 people that are having their CPA send the taxes to us. So that's one thing. The 2-1 buy down, or whatever buy down combination, there's a bunch of those out there. I've actually closed my first one recently. Just know that there's specific guidelines on that. And as the listing agent, you guys need to know that, right? For what the amount for the seller credit needs to be. The lender will do the calculation for you. On the contract, there's specific verbiage that the lenders require to be on there. We can always do an addendum afterwards, but it's nice to kind of tighten that up if we can do that in the beginning. It's so much better than having to lower the price, because the dollar amount is just so much better for the sellers. And we're seeing a lot of price reductions. I actually pulled the numbers. So in Roseville, there's as of 12/28, there was 654 listings and 102 price reductions. So, as opposed to, which is like 15%, but I mean, the inventory is pretty low, but people are still doing their price reduction. So they could just do a 2-1 buy down. That might help the sellers net more money. Gotcha. And then last, actually credit report fees. So again, this is kind of a me problem and client's problem, but the credit reports are doubling. Credit report fees are doubling. So it's going from $40 to $75-ish. And so I'm going to be absorbing the difference for my clients so that they won't see the difference. I was just talking to Gary about this too. I saw a lot of my old coworkers from FAM who are in a different company now, and a couple different companies posting, if you do your purchase with us, we won't give you any lender fees when you do a refinance, right? I just want to make sure everyone's clear. I don't ever charge a lender fee. So the $1,800 or $2,000 that is normally charged for underwriting and or processing, I don't ever charge that fee. So, I know it's kind of a cute marketing tool for them, but it's never charged with me. Lastly, I'm setting up for the girls, of course, because the boys usually don't want to do this, a vision board party. So if you guys want to or know anybody, let me know. We're going to do it probably at the end of the month. And then I'll provide all the goodies to do it, and we'll have fun.
Where is that going to be held?
So I'm going to do one in Roseville at my office. So I'll set up a bunch of tables and put all the supplies out. And then I'm probably going to do one at my house for like my gym people, previous clients that all live near me. So I'm going to do 2 separate. So one in Sac by me at my house, and then one at my office in Roseville on Douglas.
Okay. Very cool.
Which are always super fun. Yeah.
Very cool. And then Mike, 2 questions. What are the rates today? And what do you hear as what they will
What's your
be?
problem? I didn't check rates. Like what? I don't know. 6, 7, 8. I don't know.
Go the other direction.
They actually were worse yesterday. So I can tell you that. Market was closed on Monday. Obviously, yesterday, the rates, we got alerts to lock. So they weren't looking great. I didn't even check them this morning, to be totally honest. Okay. So, but it has to do with FICO and loan to value and what program you're on and all of that stuff. So in the 6s, I would say is probably a good guess. Okay. But I've seen them as high as 7.5 on a down payment assistance.
Okay. Wow. 7.5.
But it is what it is. Either buy or don't, right? Everyone's going to need to do financing.
Gotcha. And then what do you hear for the future? I've heard lots of mixed emotions and different things.
Oh,
what do you hear?
My crystal ball.
Oh, yeah.
My best thing that I bought during the pandemic, by the way. The most
Is it working? Is it working?
Sometimes. I am hearing that the rates are going to go down. Okay. But, it's so about politics and about world politics. And that's the problem that we run into, is that it's been so volatile that we're like, oh, the rates got better and they super improvement, and then just, then they just take a dump. So I would say they're where they're supposed to be right now. So
Gotcha.
5 to 6% is where we should be. So hopefully we'll start to see a little bit of a decline in the next couple months is my guess, because they're going to want to stimulate stuff because we're in trouble. So, and that's the way they control it.
Gotcha.
Lending in real estate, we rule the whole world. Everything collapses or gains based on what we do.
Revolves around us. Yeah, exactly.
Well, in the stock market, but whatever.
Yep. Does
That's my
anybody
best.
have-
That's my best prediction based on my my crystal ball.
All right, cool. Does anybody have any questions for Stacey specific? Anything in there?
I have a
do.
question. After John.
I
Go
do-
ahead, Tony.
Oh, I was just curious, what company are you with? Because I know you moved once or twice.
Say it again.
What company are you with?
I am with Unified Home Loans, so I'm a broker now. So I left FAM last September, last September. So I've been back in the broker world. So
Unified?
I'm basically independent.
Cool, thank you.
Gotcha.
What are you gonna say?
I don't
Okay.
Mama, newlywed.
So my question is, if you were buying a house today and the rate was 6.87, I have a client in this situation,
Right.
would you buy the rate down for $12,000 to $15,000, 1 percentage point? Would you think that's a wise move?
Is the 2-1 buy down not an option
I'm not
with the
sure.
seller credit? So that would be option number 1. Go to the seller and see if they will give a credit towards that, because and when I first heard this, I wasn't a super fan of it. But what happens is in the next 2 years, if the rates go down drastically, the balance that's left is credited back towards their principal balance.
Okay.
So in your scenario, if the clients pay $15,000 to buy down their rate, they don't ever get that money back. It's just gone.
Okay.
So 2-1 buy down, 3-1, whatever combination of a buy down they're looking at, I would say try to get the seller to pay that, because that money could come back to them if they refinance in that period, that 2 to 3 year
Okay.
period.
If it drops and it
Makes
makes
sense?
sense. Okay.
Within 2 to 3 years, so.
Yes, so it's like in a scenario where it's a 2-1 buy down, within that, so the 2 years is 2% less, the 1 year is 1% less, then it goes back to the 6.875, right? But in that 2 years, if they do a refinance, whatever's left in that will get credited back to them. So they get that money back. In a normal buy down, they just lose that money. They pay $15,000 and it's just gone.
Right, so normal buy down would only benefit them if the rate didn't go down within that. period.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And we just don't know, right? So we're
Right.
like rolling the dice, like, so I think it depends on what their long-term plans are. Like, are they planning on staying there for 5 to 10 years? How long does it take them to recoup that cost? That's what I would look at. If they're just gonna, if they're saying, hey, this is our starter home, we'll probably upgrade in the next 5 years, then I don't know about, if they can afford the payment, maybe the buy down's not a good idea.
Yeah, it looked like it was about 3 years that it would take them to be able to make it back.
Yeah.
So-
And the first 3 years is mostly interest anyways that they're paying. So
Right.
I don't know. I would say probably not. If they can afford the payment, just hold off.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be my advice. That's what I would do personally.
Gotcha. I think that's a definite good question to ask our clients
Yeah.
when we're talking about buy downs and things like that is,
Mhm.
what is your strategy? Is
Right.
this, we're making the next step? Is this the first step? Or is this, hey, we're actually downsizing. This is hopefully the forever home.
Mhm.
Hill.
And things change. I mean, obviously we do
Yeah,
our
of
best
course.
guess of where we're going to be 3 to 5, 10 years from now. But
Yeah, who knows?
yeah, I would always, I mean, as long as that 2-1 buy down is available, I would always take advantage of the seller paying it, because
Gotcha.
then it tears up,
All right. Anybody else question for Stacey? Come on. Molly Brady, you always have a question. Tammy Brock, you always have a good
Molly
question.
talks to me every day. She asks questions every day.
And Wayne's afraid to get on and show us his pretty face.
It's all right.
I do.
They
have a
know where to
question.
find me.
I have a question.
Mhm.
And I don't know if anybody's talked about this, is what about an adjustable rate mortgage? What are your thoughts? Is there anybody really using them?
Yeah, so jumbos are using them.
Okay.
So the pricing on a jumbo, a 7 and a 10 year are way better than a regular jumbo product.
Okay.
So I would say adjustables make sense.
Okay.
And those people are normally more savvy. They have a strategy. They know what's going on. So I would say adjustables for jumbos are a great idea. But otherwise, I'd probably say no.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
I did a 10-year jumbo for client a couple months ago, and it was it was 1% difference in rate,
wow.
which is giant with an $800,000 purchase.
Well, especially if you've got it locked in for 10 years. I mean,
Right.
to get a
Right. I mean, you
1%
have that amount of time to kind of hold, even 7 years. I mean, the curve is supposed to be 7, right? We've had these really long stretches where it wasn't following the regular curve of the last 30 years. But yeah, 10 years is, and even 7, I would say, is fine. Just
Okay.
it depends on what the investors are buying that day, which one's better, right? So
Okay.
sometimes it's a big difference.
And what is the jumbo loan amount right now for Sacramento?
Jumbo is, it all just changed. Damn it, I had that written down and now I don't remember. Hold on.
Isn't it like 720 or 725 in this?
Yeah, it's hold on, I'll look it up real quick. So high balance. My phone will not move. I'll look it up while we're chatting. Yeah,
All
bye.
right. Oh, I see we lost Molly. She must not have liked what we were talking about today.
Right?
No, she's still spending some time with her family. So today, like I said, I don't really have a specific topic. This was the first one. We're kind of getting into the new year. I want to go over a couple things with you guys. Is the newsletter is going to change. So the information that you guys are getting is going to break down a little bit differently. Instead of having all this information that you can find it was a little bit, I don't know, distracting just because there was so much information. We've pared it down so that there's going to be a couple of things. First and foremost, you're able to click on one tab, and that will be everything that's in our calendar. So we are going to schedule our entire calendar out months at a time. So there will be trainings and coachings and calls almost every single day. So there'll be accountability calls. Steve's doing a builder call. I'm going to do a coaching call. This will be one of the set calls, but there will be an opportunity for you guys to be able to see and plan within your week or month what's coming up. We're also going to take suggestions if there's anything specifically you guys want to learn on a Wednesday. Coming up, we're going to book those out as far as we can so that it is consistent and so that you guys have opportunity to be able to plan hey, I really want to catch this Wednesday, which is, February 13th or whatever. So you'll be able to know exactly what those things are. So we are putting that together. So look for that. The second thing is there used to be all these different little blurbs and videos that you would see within the previous newsletter. Everything is being put to one channel, which is our YouTube channel. So you're going to be able to say, hey, I'm looking for training, and it will be broken down into sections. So there'll be training on EXP, there'll be the Wednesday trainings, and then there'll be other trainings specifically like TDS, SPQ, disclosures, contract, things like that. It will be broken down. Our goal is to make things as simple for you guys as we can. And then I don't know if you guys have heard this, but my wife has been working on this thing called the Agent Hub. It's probably 75% done. And it will be an opportunity for you to go in and say, I'm trying to find this within EXP. And you will be able to search it. And literally it's called the agenthub.com. You'll be able to search, I need to find out how to get in and get something signed. And it will literally point you to where to find it. Or if it's not specifically within EXP, if they don't have a how-to, we are going to create videos on those. So it will lead you to our YouTube channel. It will be a YouTube with myself, Kelly, Steve, maybe even Jen, sharing our screen, and we will walk you through, hey, are you trying to find out how to add a new agent? Are you trying to find out how to get into the world because you haven't done it in a year? So there will be all these little snippets and videos of how to do things so that you guys will not have to call and be like, Gary, I don't know how to do this. I'll be able to say, hey, go to the Agent Hub, click on this or sign into this, and it will walk you through step-by-step how to do it. Our goal is to teach you guys how to fish so that you have one place that you can go and search for everything. But the main reason is for you guys that are building teams, specifically like Audrey has one of the larger teams, when they call her and say, well, I don't know what to do, or I'm trying to figure this out, she'll be able to say, here's what you do. So they will not come to her for 100 things. If you guys don't know this, Steve's phone rings probably 500 times a day with text messages and voice messages. I need to know how to do this. Our goal is to alleviate some of that from Steve. So you guys will have one place to go to get answers of everything, or at least get directed on how to find something. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make everything as simple for you guys as we can. And then, like I said, be able to give you guys more information, because I think it's going to be important as we move forward. Any questions on that?
Not on that, but I have a question for Stacey.
Oh, go for it, buddy.
Yeah.
Stacey, so I have a new client. She owns a home. She's a single mom, and she wants to be an investor, and she wants to make sure she doesn't get into a negative cash flow right away. So what product would you recommend for an investor like that, you know, being where rates are and prices are? Adjustable or fixed?
Yeah, I would definitely stick her with a conforming regular 20% down, 30-year fixed. You don't, especially if, you know, if she doesn't have a big stash going on, right? You don't want to get her into an adjustable, because that could be a wild ride. I would put her in a 30-year fixed, non-adjustable.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. 20% down, 25% down, preferably, because then the rate's better. 25%.
And where
Does she have that kind of cash?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have to have a better talk with her. What is that where you're seeing most of your investors start out, or what are the rates right now for
High sevens for sure. High sevens for sure,
sevens.
with 20% down, 20, 25, depending on the day, right? I mean, some days we may hit it a little bit lower, but yeah, they're going to be in the high sevens.
Okay. All
Which
right.
is why everybody needs to, you know, make sure that that we keep an eye on them, make sure they have the right product.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think
You
Wayne's
got it.
got the right idea. Wayne's looking for the winning lottery numbers, so he doesn't have to sell real estate anymore. So he
I
can
was like,
buy it and
we
just
bought ours
control
last
it.
night. I wonder if we won. I didn't check in.
Is it up again pretty high?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like 800 million or something. I don't know. Like, you know,
That's
a billion, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. It does. Yep.
Yeah, I have Audrey's answer. 726.2 for conforming, and then FHA 763.6.
Okay.
Right. So those, and then it goes into, you know, jumbo land.
763.6.
Mm-hmm.
That's a one heck of an odd number. Why don't they just go?
There, it's always an odd number, and they increased the numbers greatly. I was like, I mean, what do they know that we don't know? Why are they increasing it when, you know, supposedly values are going down, the rates are, I don't know. I don't get the philosophy of how they figure that out, but better for us. I mean, we'd rather them be in the conforming, you know, area than having to go high balance or jumbo.
You know, that's actually a great question. What is the difference in rate from a conforming to high balance? Is it that big?
A quarter percent, somewhere in that range, with a perfect score, you know, sometimes a half if we're dealing with a, you know, 680 score or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So it's really not that big of a difference. Yeah, it's
I was
not.
gonna say, it used to be like a percent difference, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was usually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, it's not that big of a deal. Nope.
Okay. Very, very good. Any last minute questions for Stacey? Any questions for what I said? Sorry, Wayne, we don't have the answer for you. Tammy, I like your zeros.
Well, that was ooh. I was trying to say ooh.
Ooh.
I thought you were going. I thought you were saying here's the 6 numbers, zeros. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I would have never guessed that.
I need to check.
All right.
Mhm.
Then the other thing I want to kind of chat with you guys about was this is ultimately the year is starting out, and I would tell you guys, I would be hitting the ground running. I would be doing anything and everything I can to be in front of as many people as you can. Everything I've read, everything I've heard is going to come down to the next 6 months is going to be like the last 6 months. They don't expect us to really come out of or see massive changes over the next 6 months. So it's still going to be kind of like we're in winter. Obviously, as we get into springtime, April, May-ish, people will start buying a little bit more because that's just the natural trend. But with rates are where they are, people are going to be buying probably a little bit less. I am seeing some great deals out there. I am seeing stuff in the 350 range for you guys that have those, you know, young folks just getting started, or single mom or whatever it is, investor trying to get started. I am seeing stuff in the 350s, which was 450 before. We're probably down about 3 to 4% year over year, which obviously we had that massive spike 21, so it went up crazy, and now it's come down. So we're still kind of on the lower side, like I said, year over year. But if you look at the overall trend, we're still up from 5 years ago. I'm telling you guys, I mean, I know the weather kind of sucks right now, but open houses, database, lead generation, whatever you are doing, I mean, it is going to be a grind for the next 6 months. It is not time to let off the gas. I know a lot of people have, and we've seen this. I'm getting out of the industry. I'm going back to school. I'm going to become a nurse. I'm working a day job, whatever it is. I mean, I get it that people have to do to provide for their family. With those people leaving the industry, it's going to be more opportunity for us, but we really have to be in front of everybody that we possibly can. So, I mean, I would literally be spending 2 to 3 hours a day on my phone, calling and checking in with people. I'm not saying you have to sell or ask for business. I'm just saying I would be top of mind for everybody as much as I can. If you guys have embraced KV Core, utilize the text messaging, the email messaging, be the person that is giving out the data. Use Ryan Lundquist, Keeping Current Matters. There's a new one I just found about called The Close. If you guys could find that, it is a website that gives data and information about real estate. So I would be looking at those places to gain information about real estate as a whole, and anything you can find that is local, be putting that in front of all of your clients, all of your family, your neighbors, anybody and everybody you can, so that you are the person sharing that information. Because like I said, there are people, I mean, we're probably going to have a 30% drop off of real estate professionals in the next 24 months. When it comes time for people to renew the license, they're going to be like, nope, I'm done.
Which is a blessing for all of you. I mean, honestly, same thing with loan officers. They're like, I'm getting out of the business. I was like, bye. Go then, go.
Would you say, I mean, because you obviously see both sides of that, how many people that you know of in the lending side have gotten out in the last 6 months that you know of?
Oh, a dozen that have minimally gotten a job, right?
Okay. Yep.
And so, and I get that, just because we lived through 08, right? And the trauma, and I've been doing it for 35 years, we know how to live lean, and we live lean anyways, right? So there's a lot of people that are getting jobs, and I totally get it. Same thing with realtors, they're getting the side hustle, right? And so for people that are full-time, that is such an advantage for us. And to say, hey, this is what we do, and it is a buyer's market. Oh my gosh. I'm seeing so many people reaching out to me too, to apply, and now are ready because they know that the prices have dropped a little bit, even with the rate, right? Prices have dropped, cool. Get it at a lower price, refinance your home, hopefully later. Make sure you can afford it, because I don't know what's going to happen, right? The crystal ball, but hopefully we'll have a little bit of a dip where they can get their rates down a little bit more, but you're still buying it at lower prices. There's not as much competition.
Yeah,
Which they're getting their offers accepted really quick.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people that have mentioned multiple offers, but I've also looked at their properties and they're pricing them 50,000 less than the last sale. Like, well, I got multiple offers, but you only got 3 offers and you went 50,000 under market.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
Just goes to show you that, they're the people that are going to price their properties correctly. The other thing is, I would be looking at people that are coming off market, expired and canceled. You may be looking at, writing letters to those folks if you have buyers looking in those neighborhoods. Not trying to get the listing per se, or maybe you could be trying to get the listing, but at least, like, I have a lady that's looking in Elk Grove, in a 55 and over community called Glenbrook. Well, there's only 2 properties on the market for sale, and both, in my opinion, are probably 75,000 overpriced. So I looked at the 4 that came off the market in the last 6 months, and I'm going to write letters to them saying, hey, you were at 500,000, which is 75,000 less than the current market. And I have a client who's looking at that price point, and then I can look like a hero to my client. Like, look, they're at 575 on the market. I'm going to get you this for 500. And then hopefully I can work it that I can double end it and get, full 6%. Of course, that always makes it pretty for me. So
that's a good point though, Gary. Just going back old school, right? Doing things old school. Like what I do is send thank you notes to every person and referrals and you know, and then remember we talked about the power hours with our phone. Look at how many contacts you have. And what I started doing, and I've only gotten through the F's, I think, at this point, but I'm going through cleaning up because a lot of them are duplicates and I want to do it by hand because then I'm reaching out and I'm finding clients and people that I haven't talked to in a long time. And I just send them a quick text. Hey, just checking in on you. Hope you're doing well. That's it. And I've gotten a couple people that said, hey, I'm looking to maybe sell my house.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I can give it to my realtors.
I
Doesn't help me, but you know, hopefully they're gonna buy, you know.
I was making phone calls, and one of the things that it's going to be on our calendar will be a power hour. We're going to do, I think it's going to be 2 days a week, and it's going to be 1 hour to 2 hours of phone calls and accountability on Zoom, like we've done in the past. So
I always know when you're doing that because I get a bunch of calls. Everyone power hours me.
Yeah, exactly right. You got to call your lenders. You got to check in with your vendors and things like that. But it's funny, Stacey's talking about that. I called a buddy of mine, which I thought it was his number. I texted him like, hey, Eric, I want to wish you Merry Christmas. What's going on? And it says, not sure who you're trying to reach, but this phone number is now owned by the Department of Defense. And I was like, okay, I will delete this number. So my buddy never worked for the Department of Defense. So I was like, okay, I will delete this. But then I went up, looked him up on Facebook, and he's like, oh man, we moved. We're in Arizona now. I got remarried. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know that. So let me get your new number. So it's interesting to go through some of that process. So cool. Any last minute questions? Any ideas? Anything you guys want to see from us leadership standpoint? Anything you guys want to see from a coaching and training standpoint as we move forward? Sarah, you've been kind of quiet there. Nope. Well, fine. Be that way.
She's in the woods. Leave her alone. She's in the forest.
Gary,
Yes, sir.
that just means you're doing a great job.
That's right. That's exactly
Agreed. I was gonna say that.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here today on our first one. We will be back again next week. Like I said, I don't know exactly what the topic is, but we're building it out right now. And we're going to make sure that we are bringing you guys great information and helping you guys to build your businesses and make them the best that they can be for 2023.
Thanks for giving me a few minutes. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank
yeah,
you,
Stacey's
Stacey.
gonna be back on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. And Audrey, you are our winner.
Oh,
Woo!
Yay, Audrey. Whoop,
You guys
whoop.
saved the money on gas and you got to stay in your pajamas. And I know you have slippers on and
Yeah,
all the good stuff.
that's funny.
All right. Take care, y'all. Bye.
Thank you all.
bye.